I have a confession to make. We're entering a new era. Have a look at this. $4.3 million with one store in less than a year. And I never told you guys about this, but this is what I've been doing for a while now. And frankly, I've been holding it back. That's right, Faruk in the building. And today I'm going to show you guys how to retire your parents with sub-niche fashion dropshipping. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it, because I am going to show you how to leverage Claude AI to find your sub-niche and using storytelling and congruency to outskill your gay ass competitors. And then next up also our way of using Claude with Nano Banana Pro Gemini in order to make hardcore crazy creatives and just turbo giga chat with one click to hundreds of creatives every single day. And then of course next up our meta ads strategy, and in my opinion the most important part, our backend, aka how to protect your money. And before we do any AI, I want you to ask yourself, what were our top sellers in our general stores? Because the first sub-niche store that we made, which were leather shoes in the US market, was based on that. We had tested a bunch of niches with our general store, and then we found a few products. We connected the dots and we noticed that there's a certain sub-niche that is working amazingly for us. First, we didn't understand it, but after we analyzed everything, we connected the dots, we understood. So we had made a sub-niche store based on the top category of Q4. And the CPCs, they were insanely cheap in the US market. And we already had a bunch of existing creatives. So we could just connect an insane emotional story, because we noticed that the audience that we're selling to, they are very active on Facebook ads. So there's, for example, some audiences, if you will try to sell them through Snapchat, let's say 60-plus-year-old people, it's going to be quite hard. But for the audience that we had, we found out, which were people who were making more than average money every single year, like so higher than the annual salary income, people who also had taste and liked good fashion and just wanted to have comfortable clothes when traveling, when going on a business meeting, or whatever it may be. They liked status. And as you might know, the 5 pillars of life that I believe in, health, wealth, love, happiness, status, are very important for me also. As a now, I've been now for almost 7 years in the game, a business owner. So I could relate myself as well with them, our ICP. And also most importantly, the biggest issue that I see with people in their backend that they're having is that they have so many SKUs, so many products, that at some point they cannot hold the backend anymore properly. Because doing that, you really gotta be an insane genius and also have some luck and insane private payment processing issues. I've been teaching this business for years to people. So what I did, we found out that with sub-niche fashion dropshipping, and it doesn't have to be always fashion, is where you find a product that does not have too many crazy amount of SKUs, so you can also control it. Because let's face it, with general store dropshipping, you cannot exactly go and understand and see the quality for 100% of the products. And I know that, and I take that as well into account. That is also why our refund system is so relaxed, because we know that the amount of percentage of issues, it can happen, So we are very relaxed with refunds. We still are, but with generals, you gotta be even more. And so if you already have this data, please at first analyze it and then start using Claude AI, which we're gonna do in almost a minute. And I'll show you guys as well, in combination with Winning Hunter, how to find your sub-niche. For example, more type of sub-niche fashion examples. You can go for jewelry, you can go for bags, you can go for watches, winter jackets, for example, and just jacket niche, all types of shit. Anyway, let's now at first, guys, we go into Claude AI. So we're gonna do it very simple. I want to start a fashion dropshipping store targeting a specific sub-niche. Help me identify 5 underserved fashion sub-niches in 2026 that have strong demand but aren't oversaturated. Focus on niches with emotional buying triggers and high perceived value. Consider trends with demographics and ad scalability. Okay. So you go first with this because we're going to go very broad and we're going to explore all our options. So first of all, also guys, you don't need the Opus 4.5 option or whatever here. Just go for the simple sonnet. It's enough. You don't need the most craziest things because we're not coding or something. We can see there's poet, core, accessories, and literary fashion. So what you want to do, guys, as I said, you want to go for something that doesn't have a crazy amount of SKUs. So let's say not more than 10 to begin with. And then also you want to go for a product that is also to be served with meta ads, because that's also, I mean, till this day, the platform where you can scale the hardest. You have a lot of different platforms where people talk about Google, for example, which is nice and cool, but your GMC is getting shut down every single day. You have to pay insiders to get it back again. You are running a bunch of random products, unless you're running a brand, then GMC is nice. But besides that, in my opinion, I haven't seen a lot of people doing this very consistently. Honestly, you know, I'll say it from my experience. People can talk what they want. Of course, Google works, but Meta is just easier to start with and also easier to scale. You know that, and also that Google is supposedly passive income is also bullshit, because you always need also better categories, renew GMC, check your GMC, make sure it works, have your media buyer on point, make sure your refund rate isn't too high, because that happens very easily, especially on Google. Your payment processor is likely to go down. So there's a bunch of stuff that comes with it that people don't like to talk about. And you can call me maybe very straightforward, but honestly, guys, I have seen more guys who became a millionaire because of Meta than through Google. And that is not because more people are on Meta. It's just what I've seen the last 7 years. So poet, core, accessories, and literally fashion. And by the way, guys, usually you want to do this type of shit where you do sub-niche fashion dropshipping in the US, because you want to go into a sub-avatar with sub-niche fashion dropshipping, not just the avatar, not just somebody you want to serve that is, for example, has knee pain, so you give a knee brace. No, you want to go even deeper and deeper, right? Why does this person have, for example, knee pain? You know, the deeper you go, the more deeper you go into the emotions, the easier it's going to become for you. And with AI, you can just let AI do all this shit. If you're gonna still like trying to tell me about Reddit, that Reddit is so amazing, that you do the best research there, I mean, that is the basic shit. That's what everybody's telling you already. And honestly, most of the shit that I see on Reddit, honestly, I don't even use it for my own research, because most people who talk on Reddit are just people who are complaining all the time. Where are the nice reviews, you know? So you gotta go way deeper than that. That's too surface level in 2026. Everybody already tapped into that. So the longer we go, the deeper we have to go, and the better we're gonna understand also AI and also train our agent within Claude. This is a little bit too broad. You could try it, guys. It can be interesting. Look, high on TikTok and Instagram, target Gen Z and millennials who consume. Okay, so you want to skip this, because this is more for TikTok, etc. We don't want to go there. We want to go into a niche where we can do meta and native ads, which is the easiest. You have the most money. This is a big audience, but they're usually poor. Vamp, romantic, gothic, glam fashion. All right, so again, it's giving us a lot of very like to newer audience. So I'm gonna refine as well the prompt. Can you give me sub niches that would be more serving for audiences? Right, I'm just gonna go for 40+ year old and see what it gives. So underserved fashion sub niche for 40+ woman. So you want to go into more Karens. So you're addressing sophisticated Italian grandmother style. Why it's underserved trend is emerging for 2030, replacing mob wife aesthetic. I actually like the dropship cotton, it's trending among fashion editors that are. Okay, look, this can be interesting, but this is a little bit too much. Silk scarves, this is actually nice. I like this because it doesn't have a bunch of SKUs. Pearl jewelry sets, necklaces, earrings, bracelets. Okay, target audience. Look, this can be interesting because why? Show confidence, cafe scenes, egg gallery. So what's gonna happen with this? You're gonna target an audience that has money and that is into old money. Not only that has money, more importantly, wants to spend money. You know, so adaptive and comfort first tailoring. Why it's underserved? 42% of all the struggle to find clothing that fits well. Without discomfort, most stores offer either frumpy comfort or a comfortable tailored, not both. Emotion trigger professional confidence without pain, age appropriate. Wide leg pants with stretch waistbands. Yeah, can be interesting, you know. What about something with leather? Because leather is always a niche you can go hard on. So let me ask. Okay, so leather is huge for 2026, especially for 40+ market. Here are 5 leather focused sub niches underserved. Lady jackets, okay, can be interesting. Leather gloves, Renaissance, Oprah to diving groves. I mean, look, you can go very deep. See, structured leather bags, and we know that leather bags, obviously, they will always sell. It's very nice. Leather accessories, wardrobe. Okay, so now that we know this information, for example, look, why leather works for 40 plus women, especially Karens, they love leather for some reason. I don't know. Don't know what the fuck it is. Kashmir leather, that shit always sells. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna go into Winning Hunter and I'm gonna do some research. And honestly, I'm a very basic guy. I'm not smart at all. I started e-commerce with the most simple dropshipping you can imagine, but I am a very lazy person. So because I'm lazy, I always seem to find the easiest way possible to do certain things. Even though I'm lazy, I stay very consistent. So here we're gonna go to Winning Hunter. Take any plan, doesn't matter. Countries, US, website, Shopify, languages, English. You wanna go to the US market. That's where you're gonna find the most. Go at first for images, and after that we're also gonna look to carousel, because for these type of competitors that we can find in the US, usually they are just doing image ads, which I will also explain to you guys later why. So last seen date, you wanna go for last 7 days. Beautiful, we have it right here, and the rest, I don't click, you can refine those filters also later. You can also go for different type of shit, you know? So let's go down. Okay, let's see what we can find here. So this is also a sub niche. Okay, if you see even the first one that we can see here, view details. Let's look at the ad library. 61 results. It's okay. Let me keep on scrolling. Christian t-shirt. This is an awesome sub niche, especially since Trump took over and Christianity, male, masculine shit, right? It's more and more coming. Escape the matrix, you know what they always say. I mean, I agree with it, of course, you know, I also escaped it, but just open your laptop and get to work, bro, and go to the gym sometimes. That's it. It's not that deep. This is actually very good. I'm not Christian myself, but this is actually very good, and I've seen stores like this crush it for years. From when I started in 2019 till now, 2026, I see it all the time. And this is very smart. And they probably just made everything with AI. I could even see it. Look, you can see this is not a real neck. It's all AI. Can't even accept it. Look, they're so stupid. Look at this. You can't even accept it. 61 running ads. And let's look, for example, today's the 9th of February. Since the 20th of January, they're running ads. And we can see by the extension of Dropship.io, all are non-EU ads, obviously, as well. You know, we always try to make sure. It's all US. And this shit works amazing. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this immediately, but it's print on demand. It takes some time. You need to buy stock. So I'm not a big fan of it unless you can actually dropship this as well. You know, then you can obviously do it. But this is a nice sub niche. Because why? Fashion, biggest niche in the world, obviously, you know. And then you go into sweaters, you know, winter sweaters, whatever. And then you go to Christianity, even lower, which is an insane passionate niche. Like, there's nothing more passionate in this world than religion. When people really support and love and live for one thing and hate the other, right? For example, the gay niche, LGBTQ. They're gay. Most of them also, they hate people who are hetero, you know? I don't make this shit up. It just happens. They're like that, you know, so just gotta accept it. That's how it is. That is one. That is a nice sub niche, you know? So, and the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is that, and I'm showing all of this, and it's been now like 20 minutes or something, and I go so deep into it because the research, this is where it all happens. And I want you guys to really understand how to do this research and how deep I like to go. Because if you understand this, then the media buying and etc. is just going to be hard work. Just work, you know, and just put in the work and you will be fine. That's it. But the research, you gotta understand it. Keep on connecting the dots. All right, let's go to view details. We're gonna go to the next one here. Bam. Okay, manly trend. Who is this? It's loading. This guy has a men's store. manlytshirt.com. Collection page, obviously, AI everywhere. manlytshirt.com. Bro, like, what can you even say? Falling to a collection page, 110 results. Are you gonna tell me this guy is not making any money? It could be 5K in a day, it could be 10K in a day, but he is making money. But I must say, there's a bit too much SKUs on his end. You know, like you see he tries well different avatars, like big guys, you know, very muscular. a little bit less. You know, he tries them all like a little bit less here. But it's a little bit too much SKUs in my opinion. This will still print, don't get me wrong, you can still make money with it, and for sure he does. This is all made with AI, by the way, probably with Artlist. Yeah. But honestly, guys, these are not the type of ads we make very much. We scale really hard to it. I will get also in this video and talk more about how we go about AI. Obviously, I will explain it in this video and then you will also understand what I'm talking about. But we make more money with image ads. You will see it later in this video. So this, not the biggest fan of it. Aura, translate bots. Let's look at this. Auro, only 4 running ads. Okay, I don't care. Let's keep on going. Smith's Boutique. I think this just gonna be a regular fashion store. And they still make money, don't get me wrong. But they're not doing the same skill as we are doing. Also all AI, 100%. Smith's Boutique, New York. I don't know who it is, but Lunivia. So I'm just scrolling a little bit, clicking on some ads, checking some shit. USA comfy outfit, clicking on some ad libraries. Okay, so we have this one store called USA comfy outfit, and they are also going a lot after one certain niche. Like, it's kind of like a general store, but they have been focusing more and more on all these golfers. So the sub niche in here is golfers within the man fashion niche. So you gotta serve those audiences, and they're not even doing it very good, you know? So I'll give you a nice example. Here, this is the collection page, okay? What would I do if I were this person, right? If you would ask me, Faruk, you have these golf t-shirts, they're making money. How would you make them printing? I make this guy even more money. So you say comfy you outfit. If you're watching, it is your lucky day. Imagine I'd be selling a golfing outfit for men through Facebook ads. Keep watching. Okay? In this, have a look at my collection page. Okay. So I would like to run image ads natively and unaware ads through Meta. Wait, let me change this. Serving the best audience possible. Can you write me a long form AI ad copy and also suggest a nice image ad I could use using framework. Also check the attachment of a successful long form ad copy that one of my friends used successfully. I'm just doing random grammar, by the way, as well in his ads. So basically, guys, what did I do? I gave the product page of this competitor's person and I told them to make image ads natively and underwear ads through Meta, serving the best audience possible. And now I gave them a prompt to make them the long form ad copy, because we have been seeing, and I will also show you some other shit today and data why we see it, that image ads and carousel ads that we find and we also regenerate with Meta's AI, we see the best performance. And you thought probably I am the copy paste guy, right? I'm the guy who kind of made it famous in the game, and I know it that I did. You know, I wouldn't say I'm proud of it. Maybe I'm proud of it. But this is now what we do to scale. You gotta adapt and thrive. I always said I don't give a shit in what way we have to go in order to scale on Facebook ads, as long as it works. So now we have this 5-step process that we make sure we have in our ad copy. Because when somebody is scrolling on their phone, first of all, video ads are, when it works, you can scale insanely hard because it's video, right? You get like way better audience as well to your landing page compared to image ads, usually, okay? But If somebody scrolls, the first thing they always see, they see the image and the name of the person on Facebook and the ad copy. So you want to make your page as native as possible. So what is a nice example of that? This is what one of the members of my group shared a couple of days ago. You know, like I send them all the time some shit, of course, that I don't talk about on YouTube. Here, vital bond, prostate surgery saved my life, then destroyed my marriage, 18 months of zero function until this changed everything. I was supposed to inject myself down there in the shed with a needle. Boom, ... and a bomb. Insane long form ad copy, you know? And they are selling some supplement. You see how native it looks. Just a simple image from Google, okay? Big Pharma. This is the most unaware ad you can have. Dr. Ian Thomas talks about his expertise. But the audience obviously doesn't understand that there's some random 18-year-old dropshipper behind it. And so you make ads without them looking like ads. That is the whole point of this. And so what I did, the 5 points that you need to have in those ad copies, and I don't know, I mastermind with my friends all the time, and they came up with this shit. So what you want to have in your ad copy is the following. A pattern, interrupt, opening, aka attention grabber. You gotta position the main character, and so you have the audience identification. So the hook, audience identification, and then you're gonna highlight the core advantage and reveal the differentiator. And on the fourth step, like you go to show the benefits, whatever, and then address the skepticism. So you're going to remove the resistance, and then fifth step, low friction call to action, and the gentle next step, right? So you wanna give a call to action, very subtle. So you want to sell them without actually selling to them. That's the whole point of unaware ads. And we have an insane example here, you know. So now what you're going to do, boom. And you're just going to let Claude cook. That's basically it. Analyze successful shoe ad for your golf collection. Then create a compelling long form ad copy with image suggestions. Look how deep it goes. Oh my God, bro. Thank God AI, bro. Thank God. I love this. My playing partner looked at my shirt on a 14 team and said something that sucked. For 3 weeks. The shirt, a $29 golf polo with this retro geometric pattern that somehow makes me look that I actually belong at Congruency. So I can go very deep into this, but you see already how insane this is. It's really insane. And usually, I don't even take my time to read all of it. Honestly, I don't. You can call me crazy, but guys, like, if I would tell you how much stuff I'm doing on a daily basis and then also make YouTube videos, I'll tell you what I do usually. I let my team do this type of shit. So usually, how we run our companies, our stores, and our brand is that we come up with the angle, editorial, the ideas, iteration, and our team operates it. So, and then here, for example, very simple, give me 10 more variations. How many you want? Ask it to Claude. Don't use ChatGPT, ask Claude. Here you go. 10 different variations. What more should I say, guys? So now you get 10 more variations. It's easier than ever to make money. And Claude can actually retire your parents. And obviously, guys, this type of shit, we talk about it all the time in Ecosphere. In my group calls, in my one-on-one calls. We have all of them. Look, Matteo scaled to 10K days in 5 days. Mace, his first 1.1K earn a day. And look, even this is like such a nice story, man. Look, Ecom couple is like a Dutch couple. And they started a year ago, like just going through insane amount of hardship. And they have 2 babies, by the way. We both work full time, 40 to 50 hours a week. You have 2 babies. The key, learning how to make money for you, not the other way around. And lastly, we want to thank me, my brother, and Omed, obviously. He's like their one-on-one coach, everything. 22K in a day, like insane. Like this is absolutely beautiful. And this is also one of the reasons why I do it. And this is just absolutely beautiful. If you would like to find out as well how we can help you scale to 7 figures, look below. Book a call with us, fill in the form, see it yourself. And now, let's talk about the next topic. About building the store, backend infrastructure, etc. So first of all, payment processing. If you're starting out and you're making anywhere less than 100K a month, just focus on Shopify payments and Stripe. That's it. Only focus on that. Usually just Shopify payments. once you go higher than 100K a month, the first thing you are gonna do is go look for a private payment processor. Now, obviously, I got you, so you can send a message to this WhatsApp number right here. You can stop the video and look at it. This is basically a payment processor that will give you every single payment method that you need for EU markets. Insane, especially for US, you have a high approval rate, because what people don't tell you about all these Hong Kong payment processors, you know, like you see all these guys selling this junk Hong Kong payment setups and stuff, is that the US is by far the best market to sell in. But if you're gonna use a Hong Kong payment processor like Ocean Payments or whatever it may be, some other ones, the issue with that is that your approval rate is low because the client, right, they are paying with a US card to a Hong Kong payment processor on your Shopify store. And what happens next is that most of the US banks, I'd say not most, but like 40 to 45%, so it's still kind of a lot, is that they will decline it. Why? Because they detect this fraud. Like all these countries in Asia or even EU, but then especially also like in UAE, they detect a lot of fraud there for some reason. They just don't like it because they're also tax havens. You know, that's what they like EU, to tax people. And what happens is that your payments will be declined. So instead of accepting 95% of the payments that you would have if you have a setup with a US LLC, with a US LLC payment processor, and you sell to the US, your approval rate of your credit card payments is going to be the highest and you're going to have the most chances of succeeding. And this is what your private payment processor also can help you with. If you and me, we built the same exact store, same exact product and whatever, everything the same, except I have a US LLC with a Shopify Payments US LLC. You have a Hong Kong or EU company, whatever it may be, with EU or Hong Kong payment processing, Shopify Payments at the same time. I am gonna win, not you, because I can accept more payments. So my CPA, like cost per action, aka like cost per purchase, is gonna be lower than yours. So I can spend more money to acquire a customer. So I win. This is what Facebook, Meta, or most of the advertising platforms are all about. This is what people don't tell you about. Again, you can check here for private payment processing, totally free, everything. And what's very important, obviously for the backend guys, is for you guys to use chargeback.io. Here, boom, chargeback.io. Use this. Because what happens with a lot of people is that where they scale finally to 400, 500, 600K revenue, they finally get to a nice point, and then they find out, hey, so it means that if my dispute rate is too high, then my it all goes down, and then, oh wait, I didn't know it, I need to hire customer support reps. Oh, maybe I should have a manager. Oh wait, so Shopify will shut you down after 1% of disputes. No shit, Sherlock, of course. Where have you been, bro? This is what it's all about. Yeah, you could try to go without a chargeback prevention software, but if you are running a business without a chargeback prevention software, that is the same as if you're gonna try to drive a Lamborghini Urus. It's not fun and you don't really enjoy it. So you don't really look cool. And running a business without a chargeback prevention software is the same with people who buy electric cars. So, and you trying to run a business without the chargeback prevention software is the same as you trying to go with only 50 kilometers in the gas, trying to drive 1,000-kilometer destination. You are going to stop at some point. So the beautiful thing about the chargeback prevention software is that you get an alert the moment when there's a complaint. So when a chargeback is supposed to come in, it will be auto-refunded. Your dispute rate will be lower than 1%, especially your chargeback rate, so you can keep on scaling. That is the whole point of it. That is why we use chargeback.io. And now next up, fulfillment. Now, I must say, guys, there's for fulfillment different ways. If you are, for example, selling supplements, so this depends, because we have for every single niche, we have a different type of partners that I recommend. First of all, for fashion, obviously, ASRoShip. That's what I recommend the most. Look, 2021, that is a time where I lost so much money because I got fucked by suppliers. And then fulfillment is the place where people most get scammed. Also me, you know, like you find some random agent on Alibaba or somebody recommends you a supplier, you know, it can be okay. but go for the good ones. So we work with AstroShip, obviously. So you go to the link in the description, you click on work with us in here exactly. You open a ticket and then you just send them the AliExpress links of the products that you're gonna sell, and then they will arrange everything for you. You will see it yourself. But for supplements, for example, you can just WhatsApp this number for supplements, for example, and then you just tell them that you're looking for a supplier for supplements. That's basically it. You cannot use one supplier for everything. That is not what I do. You know, I like to find specialized suppliers and we try all of them. Now, next up, congruency and backend setup. This is the most underrated part of scaling, honestly. With a sub-niche store, even though if you know where your ICP is, etc., you do just learn from ad copy ads, this is not where it ends. Why? Have a look at this store, for example. So I came across this guy who has all this AI, we're closing, closure sales, we know the drill. And for those who are going to tell me now, Father, don't do closure sales, don't talk about it, it's illegal, etc. Why is it that when I'm in everywhere in the world, and just to remind you, I've just come from a trip from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and then I went to Medellin, I've been to all around the world, Netherlands, all these shops are doing closure sales. Why can they do it and why can't we do it? And suddenly it's not marketing anymore, but it's deceiving. Sounds kind of crazy to me. Here, May and Rose, these are the two women. We're closing up to 80% off. Discount here. Boom, in your face. And now I cannot speak about how legit this store is, but the storytelling is good, I can tell you. First of all, obviously, I will recommend these stars. This is Trustpilot. I recommend that. Looks okay, but you gotta mention, obviously, here that this is not like real crystal gold, whatever it may be, you know? So you gotta make sure that you note that. As long as you do that, it's fine. And this is an amazing sub-niche because you have some sizes, but it's not that deep. You know, you don't have like 1,000 SKUs. This is also very nice, you know? We've gone back and forth to whether to share this. What's happening at May and Rose isn't something yet we planned. Basically, a story about, you know, that they just want to, that there's a closure, they're going to the collection page. And they are running at 80 results. I could have scaled this way harder. Maybe I should take it and scale it harder. Here, look. Dog. We like if you love dogs. They're running obviously an engagement campaign. That's what I talk about always. You need an engagement campaign on meta ads, obviously. So I'm going to keep on analyzing the store. Our story. Okay, how good is it? Because the most important thing in here, guys, and I'll tell you, is that the flow is this. So from the moment you see the ad copy, it has to speak directly to their pain and desire. Something I will do as well different here. It's not just May and Rose jewels, right? I think like it's fine, obviously, but I would also make it a little bit more personal. Not only say jewels, but have like another woman talk about May and Rose jewels as well. Some other different name, like for example, Lisa or even Karen. I would even do that, you know, talk as well about that. So from the ad copy, you gotta speak immediately to their pain and desire. So if they go to the landing page, it has to match the ad visually and emotionally. Checkout has to be clean, fast, and then to the post-purchase emails, to the customer support, to the returns. So from the moment they see this and the ad copy till the moment they receive the product at home, it has to be congruent. It has to be congruent, guys. If it's not congruent, it's not going to add up. And I must say, even this isn't even that crazy. I mean, look how ugly this looks. Here, they changed a little bit. There's a slideshow. Like, this is like full on AI. You can make this even more realistic, you know, by just playing around with it. Don't go for the first AI picture you see, you know? You see how nice? Some jewels, the hands are looking old. Man, this is good. This is like exactly the shit we teach in our group. And as well how to implement it, obviously. Not only we show it, we help you guys also implement it. But something for sure I will do, right, is I see they have a size chart. I will add skill chart in this. So this is like a new sizing chart app, skill chart. Just look it up in the app store and you will see it yourself. Why also we use it. It just gives as well like way less disputes and chargebacks because it's a way more advanced size chart app in your store. And also it's way more cheaper than the standard Kiwi size chart that you always see. And one thing also that I don't see in the store as well at the returns, which I would 100% do, is that these guys, they just tell you to email, you know? And I wouldn't recommend doing that for your shop. What I would recommend instead, what we have on our shops, which also increased us refunding 30% amount less in amount, you know, like in how much money. So our profit margin also increased, is how? We did it by having an app called Create. Here it is, Create Returns and Exchanges. Now, why is this so good? It's so good because even if you look at the biggest apps, for example, Comfort, look, they have the same. Start a return. So you fill in your details, order number and zip code. And then what happens? You go into a screen where you offer the client either, not even for a refund, but you say to them, hey, if you want to, instead of, you know, for whatever reason, they want like the product back, you tell them, hey, I'll give you a 30% partial refund and I'll give you store credits. Why is this so good? Normally, they send an email and then of course your customer support says, hey, we'll give you a 50% refund, keep the product. Hey, we'll give you a 30% refund, keep the product. So what happens next, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then what happens next, they'll either take it or keep on pushing and you're gonna fully refund them. And usually like exchanges doesn't happen so much, it's always a partial refund. Now with this app, you can do an automatic exchange, right? So instead of them being like very hard on getting the money back, you offer them the same product or even a better product. You exchange it so they can keep their product and you send them a new one and you give them store credits. That's what you do with the app. So not only do you make the customer more happy, you also increase your LTV and you also get a higher profit margin. So not having an app like this in 2026 is so stupid, especially also most of these customer support employees are so toxic, annoying. Like we hired and fired like probably hundreds of customer support reps in the last years. You know, like even at some point the whole office in India, like almost 30 people there, we had to fire them because we had some issues with them, you know? So like there's always some bullshit. So an app like this is gonna help you a lot. I recommend Create. And so an app like that for the backend is crucial. And this is what separates people from just making 10K a month and $1 million a month, you know, and scaling stores to multiple 7 figures. Because like how many guys here in the ecom game talk about so much about backend than I do. And if you're gonna compare their numbers to mine, you'll see the difference. Oh, so how did Faruk make all these multiple 8 figures? It was because when I started scaling and when I understood this all creative game, research game, this is the issues that we were encountering, and then we had to understand why is this so fucked up, you know, and this how we solved it. And now let's go to the next topic. For creatives, I will tell you guys exactly what we're doing. Note it down right now, guys. So I'm not gonna sit here and go through the whole tutorial of Nano Banana, etc. Right? It's not the guy that I'm for, you know, but I will tell you exactly what we're doing, like till the detail, you know. So we use Cloud for copy, Nano Banana, and as well we use Meta for the images, and then we test 5 to 10 ad variations, see what hits, and then we scale. But wait. Now I'm gonna go into detail. So number 1, we make image ads, because this is literally an SOP that we use for our team as we speak. So we use image ads based on the top sellers that we have. And then we take one regular image ad where you can just download the product image from the competitor or AliExpress. We put it in Canva, reframe it in the same way. So we remove like the cookie and the metadata, and then we post on Meta, right? We do this first. And then, right? So no, it's not even crazy AI. And then we make carousel ads on Meta. These go really hard. I'll show you, for example, on Winning Hunter, why they also go so hard. Okay, let's go here. Images, fuck it, we go to carousel ads. Boom. See? Carousel ads, these are the carousel ads, guys. You know, like you don't see them that great here. Look, these are the carousel ads. They go insanely hard for us. So we have the carousel ads with the top sellers in the collection. And it can be like one of the same product, or you just put like many different products from the collection in the carousel. You mix it with different products, and the mixing with different products work the best. So you don't have just a carousel ad with all different colors of one particular product. No, you have one black sweater with like this, like one black sweater, for example, without a zip, just like different types of sweaters, you know, from one collection. That works the best for us. And obviously the persona image ad. So a persona, your ICP with the product, talking with the customers in the shop, in front of the shop, you know, all these things. The simple shit. Everybody as well like does this nowadays, you know? And wait, I didn't even tell you guys the one that works the best for us. You know, keep listening. We is obviously also artists for video creation, so we connect an artist which matches the target audience wearing the sub niche product and walking around or sitting around at the same time with different shots from left to right, you know? So Artlist is this app here, Artlist, create without limits. So you can just use, they have all these models inside here. Kling 3.0, Sora, everything. This works also very good. And now comes the best and the easiest. So when you have tested the image ad, and you see which one of those image ads work the best after testing 80, 50 products or creatives, you're gonna take the winning one or the one that has the most proof of concept. You're gonna go for Meta image generation. That's it. So when you launch a campaign on Meta, you can generate for more variations, and you just pick a few of them that you like, and there's unlimited variations. Now, which variation which Meta makes works the best is random. Otherwise, obviously, I would have told you guys. Believe me or not, this works the best. It's crazy to work. And I'll tell you guys, like image ads, they work especially the best for us with apparel sub niches, and you will also get a way lower CPC on ads, especially in US market. You know, that's why I talk a lot about US market. Back in the days, I used to just only talk about EU. I was the guy who told everybody back in 2021. I was one of the first guys to say like, hey, guys, why don't you just take winning products from other people in the US who found them after testing so much, and you test them in EU markets. It's easy, it's a blue ocean. Now I don't do it anymore so much, you know? It's not that blue ocean anymore as it used to be. And also with static image ads, you can scale so much easier, so much cheaper. Man, it's amazing. Because with video creatives, you need a lot of more concepts, it's deeper, it's harder, and it's also more expensive, as I said as well, because AI credits is not free. You gotta pay for it. And guys, how do we go about ads? And I'll just show real quick to you guys this so you guys know I'm legit here. So all these campaigns, what we usually like to do is CBO. We put the budget on 52.77, and then after that we have 4 ad sets: online shopping, engaged shoppers, stack 6 to 7 best interests related to a product, and we have no interest targeting as well, and we just let the CBO rip. And we only change creatives or put new creatives when the performance has dipped over 40 to 50% in the last 3 days. Then we don't turn off the creatives inside, but we just recycle them with new creatives. And if the campaign is already running good and we want to test new creatives, then we start a new campaign, you know? So based on the budget, obviously, as well. Like if you're gonna run a campaign of $50 and put 50 creatives, it's not like it. Of course, it can perform, but there's so many creatives that are underutilized that you want to use as well. A skill with it, you know, because there's so much space, because ad fatigue is gonna happen. And guys, understand that the business that we're running is not passive income. 100%, I live an amazing life on all the 5 pillars of life: health, wealth, love, happiness, and status, but I still work every day. Sometimes because I have to, but usually because I want to. You know, like what else am I gonna do besides working? You're not a real man if you're not really providing for your loved ones. And I also enjoy it, you know, not just only because I want to help my people, of course, also for selfish reasons. It just gives me a good feeling. And then in terms of scaling, when you have a campaign that's working finally, obviously what you want to do, guys, is just double the budget of your campaign. If it's 30% profit every 48 hours, you just want to double it, double the budget. That's basically it. Killing campaigns, very simple, you know. Like I'll show you, for example, a lot of campaigns we have run, because how many ads have we run? 969 campaigns in this ads manager. Yeah, Ecom Legend is a real deal. Look how many we tested, and we've killed a lot of campaigns that we spent $7.5 on with 3 clicks, because we just saw that the amount of clicks are way lower than the amount of purchase that we have. So we just immediately kill it. That's pretty much it, you know. $7.7, 4 clicks, boom, down. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Guys, if you're still here with me, by the way, man, comment here, no trenches, no glory. Because the video still didn't end. My camera battery is almost dying out, but we keep going. We keep on spitting value, man. Comment, yeah, man. Yeah, bro. That's how we do it. So we kill very quickly. And ROAS is king. And you can also here just see how our columns are within Facebook. So you can also copy paste it for yourself, you know. And this is literally how we do it, guys. And it goes on, yeah, very long. And guys, I do want to say that if your campaigns are on a 20% profit margin and you can't really scale it to the moon, what I recommend you to do is to just up the budget every 48 hours with 20% until it goes lower. You don't want to have your campaigns lower than 20% in profit, because if anything happens, you can always still refund your customers very easily, because 20% is what you're seeing in the front end. And with the real profit margin, obviously you can never see at the first of the month. So if I'll do, right now it's February, if I'll do $1 million in revenue February and I'm seeing at the 1st of March, hey, my profit margin is 20%. I know it's not 20% because the refunds still have to be deducted and some other team costs. It takes longer for them to see it. Refunds 1 month can take up to 2 or 3 months until you can see all of them. So for this reason, for me, I don't judge it immediately in that particular way. So really watch out for that, guys. Don't go lower than 20%. And guys, I do want to mention as well to all of you is that ask Claude every time to go deeper in the emotion. And I didn't do it in this video, but I'll tell you from my own experience, you gotta live up to your audience. How do they feel? How do they talk? One of my friends who used to sell a knee brace, like he would buy a book about knee pain. You would just read it. What are the most common things they go through? Everybody does the Reddit, the Trustpilot, all this shit already, or use AI. Sometimes you gotta go old school a little bit, to go even deeper. And I must say, this is not the shit that's gonna bring you to 10K days. This is the difference, like bringing you from 20 or 30K a day to 100K a day. That is the difference with those type of shit when you go that deep. So that's what I've seen from my experience. If you really feel your audience till the bone, like the avatar, sub-avatar, so you start with the sub-avatar, you go higher, then it's gonna go crazy, man. Because the deeper you go, the lower your cost per click is gonna be. Because when you're already scaling with your sub-avatar and probably the audience, you're gonna see a quick ad fatigue that happens, But you already have the ad account and the pixels, so shit is optimized, So and then you can go broader and broader and scale harder and go more into the mass market, because the mass market, that's obviously where most of the money is. And one thing also that I mentioned a lot in this video is obviously about the backend. I talked a lot about it here in this video, and I can talk about all the sheets, show you everything, but I want you to check this video right here. This is my $10 million a year backend video that I shot 1.5 months ago, which is still exactly how we do it. Our way of running things, and the reason why we can be consistent in our businesses, isn't just because we're amazing at marketing, mindset, all that shit. No, it's because we understand for the front engine to work insanely hard day by day and be consistent and be 1% better every single day. We understand that the backbone of the company needs to be there and never leaving. So we spent a lot of time figuring this out. It cost us millions. If you also want to know the story on how I lost it back then and then I made a comeback out of it and etc., watch this video right here, guys. I will also put it in the description. I gave away, by the way, all the sheets that it took me millions as well to figure out in that video. And yeah, if it helped you, just leave a nice comment in here, guys. I enjoy making these videos, honestly, I know I haven't been making a lot of videos lately as well. I've just been busy with my own businesses. I still to this day, I don't really see myself so much as the guru, as the coach, etc. I just honestly like, making these content online, showing guys how to make money, and I will probably never stop this. People ask me sometimes, when would you ever stop this and do some other shit? It's like, no, as long as I enjoy it, and it's also making me money, of course. I'm not stupid. Why would I stop with it? So guys, thank you very much for watching. And as I said, again, I'll tell it to you. If you really want to take it all to the next level, book a call with us. My team, they will come on a call with you and they're going to ask you a few questions, see how qualified you are. Because obviously for a group coaching, yeah, we have some qualifications. You can probably also join. It's not going to be cheap. Obviously, we are not cheap because we give insane value and we change people's lives. Not me, also like all the coaches we have in our group, which are all scaling either 7 figures or multiple 6 figures a month. No, we also have a one-on-one coaching where it's obviously limited spots. For example, for me, I cannot coach 100 people every single month. My other coaches, they cannot coach like 100 people every single month. So there are actually limited spots out there, So we have like beginner coaches, we have advanced coaches, and we will assign you the right person to help as well with you on to scale to higher levels. And I am with you. And I'll tell you something real. You know, like for myself, I have an old money and a new money mentor. So my old money mentor is a guy, he brought dinner kebab to Europe, and he gives me all this insane wise lessons from back in the days. My new money mentor is a guy who is scaling at this moment and running a 9-figure brand. So from two parties, I'm learning a bunch of shit. And that is important for me. You know, whether you pay them or not, there's like always different ways how you learn people. And I'll tell you guys, one of my biggest lessons, don't be cheap on shit. Don't find ways to make it cost less. Find ways how to make more money. That's it. This is how I live. Learn life. Love.